Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, topic one, that time of the year when we're making our Super Bowl predictions. Last week we wrapped up our playoff predictions. Today we want to talk about who we think will make the Super Bowl and why. JB, I'm going to pull the table over to you. Who do you think will make the Super Bowl this year? Who will win, and why?
I think it's going to be the Steelers. No, just kidding. Even though I wish that would be that way, but it is not going to be that.
You do have him in your playoff picture, so hey.
I do. I mean, you can't. It's to me. It's once again. It's probably going to be the Bills or Kansas City, because Kansas City is always on a roll with all this, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the next Tom Brady. So this is his era. And I think Josh Allen he's been ready to be a Super Bowl contender. He wants to be going to the Super Bowl, and he needs it, in my opinion.
Because he needs it more than Mahomes does.
He does. But I'm going to go with Kansas City and the Dallas Cowboys. No, they're never going to go back to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Sorry for all the Dallas Cowboys fans, but
it is a weak NFC this year, so I mean.
Yeah, the NFC is really, really weak.
To me, you got two teams, really.
The Buccaneers. No.
Yeah, with Baker Mayfield. Here he comes.
I don't know. It's probably going to be the 49ers or Philadelphia, because those are the only two teams that are actually really strong in the NFC. I mean, you got the Detroit Lions, but I don't think they're not ready yet.
Not that far.
They're really close. They're really close. I'm gonna say this: they're really close. They just need to get a few things together, and they're good.
Well, the issue with them so much is they're young. Like, I think they're playoff ready, but there's a difference between being playoff ready and being Super Bowl ready. Me and you both know that. You could lose in the wild card just like Miami did last year, but that don't mean you're a Super Bowl team.
Right.
So am I hearing you correctly? You have a rematch coming on?
Well, I think so. Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit more on San Francisco, since they just finally named their starting quarterback, Brock Purdy. And then Sam Darnold is their secondary, and Trey Lance is their third string. I'm surprised that Trey Lance, they did so much to get Trey Lance, and he is now the third string. I think that's hilarious.
Well, here's how I look at it, though. How many teams in the NFL need a good quarterback? More than half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback's hard to find. So I've come to this conclusion. Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. Yep. Marcus Russell was the first pick overall. Ryan Leaf was pick number 2. Who cares where you get your franchise quarterback? Yes, they screwed up getting Trey Lance, but in that same draft, they got Brock Purdy in the last pick of the draft. So really, I'm sure 100 teams would love to have that situation.
Right. So I think
the league.
But yeah, I'm going to shoot more to San Francisco than Philadelphia, just because Philadelphia, they did some things during this offseason, but not too much to help their team out, because they did lose Gardner Johnson to the Lions, and that was one big thing that they had on the defense, and I don't think they really got that much players on the defense side to actually give them that momentum. And then they lost one of their main offensive linemen to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thank you. And I don't think they really haven't filled that spot, really. So I'm going to shoot the Kansas City versus the San Francisco 49ers. And it's going to be a offensive game. but I do believe that once again, Kansas City is taking the trophy once again.
Okay. So you got a rematch in a different sense. You have that Kansas City San Francisco rematch that we had a couple years ago
Yep.
in the Super Bowl. Okay. That was, if I remember correctly, yes, that was when Mahomes got his first ring.
Yep.
Because then he lost to Tampa Bay. Okay. So you got a rematch of Mahomes' first Super Bowl. I like it.
Yep.
Okay. You see, though, for me, common sense, everyone's picking Kansas City. Here's the thing about football. There are so many weird things that happen throughout the season. The NFL is literally week by week. Anything can happen. So it's hard to make a Super Bowl prediction. I think in the NFL it's extremely hard to repeat. The Chiefs are going to have a target on their back. They play in the hardest. This is the hardest the AFC's been in a long time.
Oh yeah. AFC is stacked.
Yes. So I think it's going to be hard for them to be able to repeat in that conference. Now, I think they'll get to the AFC Championship game. I think I'm going with the Bengals. I think the Bengals will finally pull through out of it. Of course, they pulled out of it a couple years ago of the AFC. So you look at Burrow. He's actually beaten Mahomes more times than Mahomes beaten Burrow. Burrow actually holds Mahomes' number currently. So you look at Cincinnati. What do you need to be a contending team in today's league? You need a good quarterback. They have that in Joe Burrow. I mean, the dude's an all-pro quarterback. He's already setting Bengals records, and he's already been to a Super Bowl. He's making Pro Bowls, All-Star teams. So you have him. You have Jamar Chase, top 5 receiver. You have T. Higgins, who's a good secondary receiver. You have Zach Taylor, who's a good young offensive coach. You need a good offensive line. That's why they lost Super Bowl in the first place. They spent the next offseason after that upgrading that offensive line. They put a lot of money into it. So now they have an improved offensive line, and on top of it, they went out and drafted defensive end Myles Murphy last year in the draft. This past draft. So they had, if I'm looking at this correctly, yes I am. They were 29th in the league in sacks last year. That's not very good.
No.
Only 3 teams were worse than them. So they went out and got a pass rusher. So I think now they have that good pass rusher, now they have a good offensive line, and they have that good core on the offensive side of the ball. And don't forget Joe Mixon at running back too. So they have the tools to be able to get it done. I think this is the year the Bengals kind of move forward and kind of surprise people by beating Kansas City. It's really hard to repeat in the NFL. I think the Bills have missed their window. Stephon Diggs, I read a report yesterday that he will not force his way out of Buffalo, but he would prefer out because even he believes they've missed their window. And I do too. I think the Bills have lost that Super Bowl window. So I'm going with the Bengals. We'll probably get a lot of hate for that.
Okay. Bengals.
And I agree with you in the NFC side. The Eagles, I agree they've lost some players. What I'm concerned about is their coach, Shane Steichen, their offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
That really helped with Jalen Hurts his last couple of years, So Shane Steichen went over in Indianapolis. How's Jalen Hurts going to react to that? Is he going to be able to play at the same level? Is he going to drop off a little bit? On top of, like you said, a couple key players that they lost as well. I think the NFC is really a 2-team race. I think maybe you'll have a third team, maybe you pop in there and surprise people. Like I said, the NFL, anything can happen. I mean, the Seahawks made the playoffs last year, for Christ's sake, and people thought they'd be the worst team in the league.
Right.
Including us. I'm guilty of that. So I'm going with the Niners. I think they would have made the Super Bowl last year, had they had a quarterback at all in the NFC Championship game. They had Christian McCaffrey as an emergency quarterback the game before the Super Bowl. Kind of a buzzkill for that game, but I think with them having 3 quarterbacks on the roster that are competent, and Purdy and Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, so long as he stays the whole season on that roster, I think no matter, even if they get an injured quarterback happening, I don't think they'll have an issue. They have Deebo Samuel, and they have Kyle Shanahan, who is really a top 3 coach in the NFL, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the best defense in football. I think in a weak NFC, it's going to be a lot easier for them to get the Super Bowl than it would be in the AFC. So I'm going with the Niners and the Bengals. And 49ers win.
Okay.
49ers win. I'm going with the Niners holding the Super Bowl trophy this year. I think they would have last year had their quarterbacks, all 100 of them, not gotten hurt. How many teams are able to take Mr. Irrelevant and take him to the Super Bowl? Excuse me, not
Wow.
Super Bowl, but the NFC Championship game on their third string quarterback. That's a good
That is
roster.
a
That's
really
good
good.
coaching.
Yep.
And they had Josh Johnson play a little bit in that NFC Championship game too. So they just had a lot of injured quarterbacks. I don't think that'll happen to them this year. If it does, that's just really bad luck. Niners win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
You've heard it here first.
You heard it here.
May not be what you want to hear, but
So Chandler's going with the Bengals, and I am going with Kansas City.
that's right. That's right. So I'm shocked you're going with Kansas City a little bit here. I really am.
Well, it's just the fact that like you said, the AFC is so stacked, but Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City is so elite. And I thought last year that the Kansas City wasn't even going to go to the Super Bowl
Me neither.
without Tyreek Hill, and
Right.
because that was Patrick Mahomes' main target was Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Since they lost Tyreek Hill, I thought Patrick Mahomes was just going to be one of those quarterbacks. Like, yep, you lost your number one. What are you going to do now? So,
Well, I'd say he definitely proved us wrong there. Because look at the receivers. Yes, Travis Kelce's a tight end, but he's a receiver pretty much. Your receivers, you got Kadarius Toney will probably need to step up. You still have Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Sky Moore, second-year receiver, will probably have to step up as well. So I mean, those are your top three receivers probably. But it didn't matter last year, did it?
nope. Even that one little scrapper, what's his name? Pachuno. I'm pronouncing that name right. The running back.
I believe.
But yeah,
Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was actually a little scrapper
Yes.
coming into the playoffs.
They have that McKinnon and Clyde Edwards still as well. So they have some players. It's really hard to repeat. Common sense says pick Kansas City, but in the NFL, I think I'll regret that here in 6 months. Just go with my gut here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going the safe route, but who knows? Like I said, there's too many strong teams in the AFC right now. That's really hard to choose from, and who's going to be in the playoffs and whatnot.
Absolutely. Well, that's the time we have for topic 1. Topic 2, we're actually going to change course here to the world of fantasy football. We actually just had recently our fantasy football draft. So left we have kickers, defense, defensive players. Those who remember when we started the series, we said we're doing defensive players. If you don't like it, nah. With that being said, we're going to do kind of like we did last week. Jordan's going to say one player to draft, then one player not to draft. I'm going to do the same. We're going to do all of that for kicker, defense, and defensive player. Those positions are a little easier to discuss in our opinions, so I think we're able to kind of cram a little more in here and still give you guys the quality you need.
Yes.
Right. So, JB, kicker. We'll start with kickers first. Go ahead and let's give the people what they want. And one kicker to draft, one kicker in fantasy not to draft.
Well, for starters, this would be no question here. Justin Tucker.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. I mean, you could also go with McPherson or Harrison Buckner, but I think Justin Tucker is going to outrule all three of those. So, for me, draft Justin Tucker because he's probably one of the best clutches kickers in NFL or in NFL history, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Easily. Second best kicker of all time, in my opinion.
Yep.
Some people would say first. I still have that Adam Vinatieri hit those Super Bowl kicks. Make Justin Tucker's kicks look a little less impressive, truly.
And even though he does hold that record for the longest kick,
he does.
And it was not, at Mile High.
It was not. No, and I agree with you. Tucker probably has the best leg I've ever seen, but Vinatieri's clutch kicks in those Super Bowls makes him the GOAT. Until Tucker can kick a game-winning field goal in a Super Bowl, I gotta take the GOAT Vinatieri. But absolutely, Tucker, easy pick there. Absolutely.
And for my one person not to pick, I feel like the team is going to be in shambles. Daniel Carson at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just because you don't have that good of an offense. I mean, yes, you have Devontae Adams, but who else do you have? I mean, yes, you have Josh Jacobs, but how is he going to play out with that little contract that he got? We all know he's very irritated about that, so he's not going to be he's not going to be a Raider after this season. If not, he's probably just going to sit out at the half of the season. So, and you have whoever you have at quarterback. I don't even remember on top of my head right now.
Jimmy G.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mr. Good Looks.
Porn star Jimmy.
But yes, even though Jimmy Garoppolo took the 49ers to the Super Bowl, but he did not show up to his expectations. But do not draft Daniel Carson just because you don't have an offense that can't move the ball correctly. It's just that way. So do not draft Daniel Carson.
Okay. Well, this is awkward because my kicker to draft is Daniel Carlson. And that's actually the kicker for the audience that do not know. That's actually the kicker I drafted for real fantasy football for my fantasy team. I agree with what JB has to say. However, let me explain. The Raiders. Jimmy G, I think we would agree, is at least an average to slightly above average quarterback, depending on the week. Would you agree with that? He's at least an average quarterback?
Yeah, I would say he's an average.
So then you have Josh Jacobs, who was the rushing champion. I think he's going to play this season. I agree with you. He probably won't be a Raider after this year. And you do still have Hunter Renfrow, you have Devontae Adams, Max Crosby on defense. However, when you look at the offense, you have Josh McDaniels, offensive coach as well. I think they'll be able to move the ball just enough. When I mean that, do I think they're going to be scoring 35 points a game? No, I do not. Do I think they'll be able to get into field goal range 2 or 3 times a game and kick long field goals, which gives Daniel Carlson good fantasy points? Yes, I do. I look at it, you don't want your kicker to... The kicker you have, you don't want that team to score a lot of touchdowns. That's only 1 point. You want them to get in field goal range, stall, hit 4th down, and kick a long field goal so you can get 3, 4, 5 points. That's why I say draft Carlson, because I think the Raiders' offense will be good enough to at least move the ball a few times a game, but not good enough to put a lot of points on the board. So that's my philosophy on Daniel Carlson, which is why I drafted him in my real fantasy football. Devontae's going to make plays. Josh Jacobs is going to make plays eventually, at some point, which will eventually put him in field goal range, you would hope. So that's my thought on why to draft Carlson.
Okay. I just don't think they're not going to move the ball as well.
Right.
In my opinion.
And when we disagree on that one, we do. That's what makes this fun.
Yes.
Now, the one kicker not to draft, and this is actually going to be kind of funny. I'm not big on drafting kickers anyway. So, do you know who the Packers drafted at kicker? I want to give you a little trivia here. This makes it a little awkward.
I do not remember.
Anders Carlson.
Oh.
Yep. That is, they're confusing me now. Raiders Carlson, Daniel Carlson, that's his brother. Anders Carlson. Do not draft him. He has looked horrendous in training camp for the Green Bay Packers. He missed a lot of kicks in college. He went, I believe it was 1 for 4 the other day on practices and kicks. He's missed extra points in the first couple preseason games. I don't like him. when they drafted him, I actually agreed we need to move on from Mason Crosby. Me and you witnessed that ourselves in Cincinnati. However, I just don't understand why you had so many misses in college. He's had a rough training camp. He's missed extra points in the preseason games already. That's not good. I hope I'm wrong. I think he's going to suck. He's going to miss a lot of kicks. I'm not impressed with Anders Carlson. One of his highlights was he missed a lot of kicks in college. You're missing college-level kicks. How are you going to do when the game's on the line in Green Bay, Wisconsin, when it's December and negative 4,000 degrees, and now you have to go out there and kick a game-winning field goal?
Nope.
Okay. Good luck with that. Not impressed. Do not draft Anders Carlson. Do draft his brother, however, who plays for the Raiders. Don't get them confused. Draft the Raiders, Carlson. Do not draft Green Bay's Carlson.
Okay.
That is my kickers. So I'm gonna turn the table back to you and go with defense.
Defense. We could always go with 49ers, but that's an obvious question or obvious answer.
Right.
Because we all know I do believe they have the best defense in the entire NFL.
Absolutely.
We can go with the Dallas Cowboys because they just got Stephon Gilmore and with Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. But all I am going with is my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Because, one, we got young talent now. We got TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
Got Cameron Hayward on the other side. We got veteran corners with Patrick Peterson. We got young corners with Joey Porter Jr. That helps him out. And we got Minkah Fitzpatrick. So, I mean, I can't say no to that, really.
And Mike Tomlin coaching.
Yeah, and with Mike Tomlin coaching, I mean, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers is probably one of the best defense that we've seen in quite a while. So I think this is a great defense this year coming around. Everyone is sleeping on us. No shocker there because we always been slept on. But I do believe the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be the defense to pick.
Okay.
And who not to pick?
This is always the fun one.
Yeah, this is always the fun one. I'll probably say Houston.
Okay.
The Houston Texans they've never been that good, in my opinion.
Not really.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at the roster right now. Here we are.
And actually, their defense last year had 149 fantasy points, which actually is the same amount as the New York Jets in the fantasy world.
Yes.
A lot of people, that's kind of weird, but
yeah. But I think the New York Jets are going to be 10 times better this year than what they were last year. But I'm looking at their defense right now, and to me, I just don't see anything really that's actually like out there.
the Texans are rebuilding.
They're rebuilding, but for me, it's going to take them quite a while to rebuild. But yeah,
it all depends on C.J. Stroud. I know it's kind of off topic, but depending on how he does, they don't play in a very tough division. So if he's good, if he ends up being good, I think the rebuild will speed up by 5 years.
Yeah. And he just needs to get weapons, in my opinion. Because Robert Woods he's good, but he's getting to that age in receivers he's 31 right now, and you got probably the youngest one they have is John Mitchie the third, and I think he's a rookie. If I'm being so, yeah, he is a rookie. So,
Right.
I mean, we'll see what those two can do.
Okay.
And then also
Yeah,
they do have a really good tight end that came from Dallas, Dalton Schultz. So that is a good tight end
right.
to have. But yeah, it's all dependent on CJ Stroud, and they just need to rebuild their defense. In which I did see that they got one defensive lineman of Will Anderson Jr. And he's really good from coming out of
Yes.
Alabama. So that's
Yes.
a really good pick for them. But other than that, they need to start building up their defense, because I just don't see nothing
And
with
they
their
will.
defense.
D'Amico Ryans being head coach. I think, like you said, Will Anderson Jr. from Bama is, excuse me, man, going to be a really, really good player for them. I think he's the safely the two picks between him and Stroud. So I think their defense will surprise people, but underachieve at the same time. I agree with you.
Yep. So Pittsburgh Steelers for me, and Houston do not draft.
I'm going to go with draft here to be the Dallas Cowboys defense. And I actually am going to make I don't think this is going to be as hard to take as people think it. It might sound like it, but when you sit and think about it, truly think about it, Micah Parsons will be the defensive player of the year this year. I firmly believe that. He's going to take that next step. In the weak NFC, you can look at Dallas, their schedule. Open against the Giants. Week 2 at Jets is tough. Then Arizona, New England, they have a bad offense. Yeah, the Niners, the Chargers, but then bye week. Rams. Then in week 11 you have the Panthers. Week 12 the Commanders. Week 13 Seattle. Week 17 Detroit. Week 18 the Commanders. They have some games against some bad offenses. Yes, they have to play some good offenses, Philly twice a year, but you're not going to have an easy schedule all year long. They have some games to where they're just playing some lackluster offenses, truly. So I'm on top of how talented that defense is. The only thing that would concern me really with that defense is their safety Donovan Wilson is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with an injury. But beyond that, they're a pretty healthy unit right now. I'm going to say draft the Dallas defense.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be a very hard take. Do not draft the New York Jets defense. They are going to underachieve harder than I've ever seen a team underachieve before. I'm gonna pull a hard take. This Jets team will be this generation's replica of the Eagles' dream team when they had Vince Young, Andy Reid, Mike Vick, and all them. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think the Jets are going to underachieve, and you look at their schedule. Now listen to this. Okay, New York Jets. Open against Buffalo, week 2 against Dallas, New England, Kansas City, Denver, Philadelphia, bye week, Giants, Chargers, the Raiders, Bills, Dolphins, Falcons, Texans, Miami Dolphins, Commanders, Browns, New England. Most of their early games, my God, you're going to play Buffalo's offense, Dallas's offense, Kansas City's offense, Philadelphia's offense, the Chargers' offense, Buffalo again, Miami and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's hard. That is too hard. I think they're going to get lit up. Now, do I think they'll be one of the worst defenses in the league? No. But I do think they are greatly going to underachieve. Last year, the Jets, in our fantasy league, how we have our point system set up, had 149 points. As many as the Houston Texans, and as many as Joe Barry's Green Bay Packers unit. Overrated. I think the Jets, I'm going to say it, I think their defense is overrated.
Okay.
Ooh, that is a hard take, isn't it?
That is a hard take.
I think they're a little overrated. So I'm going to leave that there. Boom.
Wow. All right.
I'll wait for your reaction on that one, okay? I can tell your eyes were like, wow.
Yeah, I was really kind of surprised.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's a rough schedule. It is.
I mean, yeah, it is a rough schedule, but I do believe that their defense gotten 10 times more better than what they were last year, in my opinion.
And it might have. I just think that's a young defense. They're on Hard Knocks. There's a lot of distractions. The New York media with that young team on Hard Knocks. I just don't like that recipe. It just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And the Jets, I know we're not talking about offense right now, but their offensive line is trash. That offensive line, I think, is going to end up putting Aaron Rodgers in harm's way to a point where he's going to turn the ball over a little more and kind of put that defense in bad positions. He's not as mobile as he once was.
Yeah. Well, that was a hard take.
That was a hard take. Moving to the world of defensive players. Again, you don't have a defensive player on your league. You may be able to move past this segment. We do defensive players in our league. Excuse you.
Thank you. I was about to say that.
There we go. A morning burp.
Yep.
It is 10 to 13 a.m. here. Moving to the world of defensive players.
Woke up
Not
a half
morning
hour ago.
people. Me too. Not morning people. JB, I'm pull the table over to you. One defensive player of any kind to draft. One defensive player not to draft.
Man. All right. Well, we got so many to choose from. God, so many to choose.
That's the fun part about defensive players is we kind of do it a little differently in our leagues. For those who don't know, you can have a defensive line, linebacker, defensive back. We just decide to do one defensive player on our team of any kind, so he can pick from the field. Don't want anyone getting confused.
I'm just looking at all my options, and there's. So you go T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Darwin James, Minka Fitzpatrick. But the one person that's actually really sticking out is Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
For me, in my opinion. I think he's going to be a big, coming out of year 2. I mean, he had 34 tackles, 18 assists with it, 9.5 sacks, 3 pat downs, and 3 interceptions. One of it was when Justin Fields was blind. I still don't understand how you do that. You see a big 6'7", 268 pound person just standing there at the sideline, just in an athletic stance. I still don't. How do you not see that? Anyways.
Well, he ain't the first Bears quarterback to throw an interception to a defensive lineman. Go ask Caleb Haney and B.J. Raji.
True. But at least they weren't standing there.
Right, he actually dropped back into coverage for some reason.
But yeah, he was just standing there. It's just an athletic stance, just waiting.
When they were talking about that on, I think it's an interview or America's Game or something, like, yeah, B.J. Raji dropped back into pass coverage. I'm like, why? Well, I mean, it worked out, but okay.
But I think Aiden Hutchinson is probably going to have the best year 2 on the defensive side of that rookie class. So he's going to come out and he's going to show up. He's the main reason why the Detroit Lions is going to be on the map is because of him. In my opinion.
Okay.
And
you see a big breakout season for Hutchinson, huh?
Yep, I see a big breakout for him.
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, but you're in a rebuild. Welcome to the rebuild stage, by the way.
Hey, we're in the retooling stage. Here in 6 months, I'll be able to tell you if I was in denial or not. I think we're going to be just fine.
Okay.
We'll see if I'm in denial.
Yeah. So for me, for my one person not to pick, like I said, there's so many defensive players, but one thing that's sticking me out is Jamal Adams. And for me,
Okay.
he was hurt last year, so that's probably the one big issue because he only played one game last season. And then he just got hurt for the rest of the season. So he's not healthy. I mean, he might be 100% healthy, but we don't know. But that
Right.
injury was pretty severe, so it might take a toll on his entire entire career, I should say. But with everything, with that injury being in play, I don't think he's not gonna be up to his potential as he was last year and when he was a Jet. So for me, do not draft Jamal Adams.
Okay. And I actually like that take. I'm going to actually. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. Because I'm not a big fan of people drafting defensive backs, especially if you're in a fantasy league to where you only have one defensive player. Now, if you have three separate where you actually have a position of cornerback on your fantasy team, I'm good with it. However, if you only have a defensive player, why are you not drafting a linebacker? So I agree with, or a defensive end, or someone who's close to the ball. So I'm going to take your take here. I'm not going to go defensive end, however. I'm going to say draft linebacker Roquan Smith of the Ravens. Last season, at least how we have our point system set up, he was the second best defensive player in all of football. And 185 points, 103 total tackles, 66 assists, 4.5 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions. Dude's a balling last year. He's going to ball again. He's going to ball again. The linebackers get more tackles than a corner does, or a safety will, or even a defensive lineman. Linebackers get most of your tackles. What do you look for in fantasy? Stats. You want good stats. How else do you get a good defensive player? Someone who's going to get more tackles. I always advise people to, if you're listening, please listen closely, draft linebackers in fantasy football. They get more tackles. Roquan Smith, one of the best linebackers in football, can't go wrong there.
Okay.
And number 2, do not draft. Kind of with that, not big on defensive backs. Not to say they're not good, just not in, again, if you only have one player for defensive player like we do in our leagues, and it's not separated by position, not big on defensive backs. Especially Marcus Jones. He plays for the Patriots. He's a defensive back. Yes, he's great. He's a good player, amazing player. Bill Belichick's defense are always amazing. However, in a world of fantasy last year, he was the top-rated defensive back. That's why I have him on here. 169.60, 34 total tackles, 5 assists, no sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 interception returned for a touchdown. Those stats are far from 103 tackles. I think you would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
On top that you play in the same division as Josh Allen, Tua, with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and Aaron Rodgers. Again, you got Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. You got Garrett Wilson in New York. You got some good weapons in that AFC East. I don't like that for fantasy value either. Those are the players he's going to be guarding. That's a hard task. On top of already being behind the ball because you play a safety position anyway. I don't think he'll have the fantasy production he did last year for those reasons.
Okay.
And as sad as this makes me, that wraps up our fantasy series, our fantasy football series for the year. JB, anything you want to add on the side of fantasy football for anything at all? Any of it we've talked about?
Nothing that really sticks to my mind right now. But like I'm gonna say this: it's your team. You can draft who you want. We're not. We don't type in the numbers and we don't do the math. We just we just watch football. We just experience it, and we've done fantasy football for years now. Probably it's going to probably like 13, 14 years now. We've seen so much buzz. We've seen so many sleepers that actually does amazing, like 10 times better than what an actual star would do. So
Yes.
anything can go south in any way.
Yes.
So draft who you want, but also be smart.
My
That
biggest
is the
thing is
key.
this. Yes, kind of to go off what you're saying, be smart. I hate projections. I hate it. Who's projecting this? NFL Plus staff? Like, what are we projecting? I've
ESPN.
never liked project. Right, ooh. Let's listen to what Doris Burke has to say about things. No. The last people I want to trust, I know it's the NBA, but the last person I want to trust is ESPN and NFL Network. Let's listen to them, how biased they are. I would advise people go off of the stats the year before rather than projections. Because projections are just a bunch of idiots sitting in a room together and going like this, oh yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to win the league MVP this year because he plays for the Jets. I think. That's the big thing. I think. If you go by the stats the year before, that actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Real football compared to people sitting in a room and just bullshitting and they don't know what they're talking about. That's what projections are to me. I advise people stay away from projections. Go off of last year's stats.
True.
And to kind of go off what you said, yes, I've been doing fantasy since 2007. You've been doing fantasy football since 2008.
Yep.
We both have over a decade of fantasy experience. So we do know what we're saying. That's scary,
Sounds like we're
ain't it?
being old. We're old.
We are getting old.
Man. Past our primes.
Here's
Anyways.
an interesting fact for you. I'll end this on the fantasy side for the year.
We're old. We're getting old.
Do you know who the first player I ever drafted in fantasy was?
Brett Favre.
I do. Yes, it was. It was Brett Favre in 2007 for the Packers. I didn't know what I was doing yet. I thought that was the right pick. I took
I don't
him
even
over
remember
Ladainian
who I
Tomlinson.
first time drafted.
I just remember getting a hard time because I drafted Brett Favre over Ladainian Tomlinson and Sean Alexander at the time. So, I was young and biased. Young and biased. Now I'm matured and definitely not biased, but, well, sometimes matured. Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on.
To topic 3. This, we talked last week. I'm going to let JB kind of explain, take the reins on this one. We are going to play a game that we
Called
discussed last week.
Weddle.
Eric Weddle. Well, not Eric Weddle, but that'd be funny.
So here we have a game called Weddle. It's where we have to pick it. If you guys ever played Wordle, it's where you have to choose a computer chooses a word that you have to choose from, or you have to try to figure out. And you had, I think, like 8 tries to do. This is the same thing, but we have to choose an NFL player. So we have to, me and Chandler over here, we have to think of who is the player. So for starters, Chandler, you're starting us off.
All right.
And is every current player.
All right. Go ahead and pull the screen up.
Oh, crap. That's probably the one thing I cannot do.
All right, go ahead and read it to me then.
So, no, just pick any player. Pick any player, and I'll tell you what it is.
Any player in the NFL at all?
Any player in the NFL. Well, I'll tell you what it is. Because I forgot I can't share it. Actually,
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. So the team is not in, looks like it's not in the NFC. Oh, wait, no. It's not Green Bay. Team is not Green Bay. It is in the NFC. It's not a running back. The height is higher than 5'9". Higher than age.
This ain't Aaron Jones.
No.
Okay,
I'm
so start over.
I'm gonna see if I can try to do this here.
5'9".
See if I can try to do this. I don't know if that screwed up my end. Probably did. Yeah, it did. Uh we're still trying to figure out the kinks in this.
That's right.
But that's what you're looking at. Right there.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
All right, so I'm gonna share off the screen. Stop screen doing this, and then we're going to go back. All right. So for my pick, since it's in the NFC, it's not a running back, higher than 5'9", and it's older than 28, and his number is lower. So to me, I think it's going to be
5'9", taller than 5'9" or shorter.
taller than 5'9", and it's in NFC, but it's not in NFC North. So to me, I think it's a receiver. And I'm probably going to go with A.J. Brown. And we'll see. Okay.
A.J. Brown, you said?
It's not an NFC East. It's not the team Philadelphia. It is a receiver. Shorter than 6'1", older than 26, and higher than 11.
Higher than 11. Taller than what?
Shorter. It's shorter than 6'1".
Shorter than 6'1". Dang it. So it's not Mike Evans. That's what I was going to say.
No. But it's older than 26.
And older than 26. Shorter than 6'1". Shorter than 6'1". I'm not sure. And what's the number again?
Higher than 11.
I'm not sure on his height exactly. I'm going to go Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, maybe?
Oh, dang.
He's number... His NFC, he's a receiver. He's NFC South. Yeah, I'm going to go Chris Godwin here.
All right. So it's not an NFC South.
It's not Chris Godwin. Man,
It's
NFC West? Has to be.
So shorter. He's 6'1". He's older than 27, and the number is higher than 14. So I do believe it's number 15.
So it's not Cooper Kupp.
Shorter than 6'1".
So it has to be in that division somewhere. Has to be in the NFC South.
Yeah.
And so it's not DK Metcalf because he's only, I think, 24 or 25. Who the Rams? You got the Niners.
It's not Debo.
I was gonna say I don't think that's Debo.
I don't think he's not older than 27.
Debo?
No, he's not.
I think he might.
But his number's
19. Right. He is 27. And how tall they have to be? You said
shorter than 6'1". So between
Samuel. I think he's like 5'11".
Yeah.
Debo Samuel.
We're gonna go with Debo. Just see if it's in the NFC West.
Has to be. So the number fits, so the age fits, the height fits, the division fits.
So it is NFC West.
Okay.
Shorter than 6 foot. I don't know how that's gonna be, but it's in the yellow.
Ooh,
older than 27, and it's lower than 19. So his jersey number is lower than 19.
Motherfucker. God dang it. Just to let everyone know, we did not practice for this.
No, this is why we have to choose our minds here.
Yeah, right. And this is more of a fun thing we're trying to do a little bit.
Do something a little different. You know what? We'll go with Cooper Kupp.
You say his number is below 19?
Below 19.
Above 27.
Age is 30.
Yeah, he's 30.
So, NFC West, he's a receiver, shorter than 6'2", higher than 10. So we got the age right. So shorter than 6'2", and the number higher than 10.
I think higher than 10, and Cooper Cup is number 10.
Yep. But we did the age is right. It is 30. And we got 3 more guesses to figure this out.
And it is the NFC West. So
And it is in the NFC West. Yep.
We've actually got it down.
Yep.
To a division. We have 3 more guesses. Older than 27. Wait. Tyler Lockett? Is it Tyler Lockett?
Ooh, I forgot about Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I did too. I'm like, wait a minute. He's age 30 years old. Above 10. He's number 16. I remember that. And
all right.
No, what's the height?
It is. It is Tyler Lockett. It is Tyler Lockett. Let's go.
Chandler won. Boom.
We won.
Chandler got one. Boom. We
all
did
right,
it, guys. How many more we want to do?
What's that?
Let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more.
You sure?
Yeah, let's do 2 more.
All right, we're doing 2 more.
Let's at least do 1 more. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how the next one goes.
All right, well, now this one.
Next one, let's do 2 out of 3. If we get this next one, it's 2 out of 3. We win the game.
So this one, it's only a daily thing, but we can play hard.
What do you mean a daily thing?
This is a daily. The new player is in 13 hours, 25 minutes, and 38 seconds.
So this is a new player that's signed.
Well, that's when the new player. That's when the computer decides. So we can go hard.
Okay.
We can go hard.
Let's do a hard one. Do hard.
All right, we'll do a hard one. All right, now this one is 10 guesses. So now now think of any player.
In my mind?
In your mind, right now. Boom. Go.
Sauce Gardner. I was watching Hard Knocks last night. I think that's why that came up in my mind.
So we got the age right off the bat. It's 22. It's not in. Looks like it's not. It looks like it's an NFC team, and it's not a corner.
Hold on here. I'm typing this out. Age 22. Not a cornerback. That way I don't have to ask you 100 times. The audience don't have to listen to how many questions I have. All right, so age 22, not a corner.
Shorter than 6'3", and higher than 1.
6'3", higher than 1. All right, ready?
All right, so since we got Sauce Gardner, so I'm thinking about someone that really doesn't stick out. Since this is hard mode.
Right. And it's any active player now, correct?
Yes. Oh, wait, no, actually, no, it's... Oh, they got Aaron Banks on here.
Oh, really?
So this is an old... Well...
Oh, this would be any player in the league, ever.
I think so. I don't know, because I never done hard mode on here. So I just seen Aaron Banks and Aaron Brew for the Arizona and Tennessee. So I don't know. And then there's Aaron Maddox. But since it is 22, since it's not in that era, I'm going to go Pierre. Alec Pierre.
Okay. I'm thinking.
Okay.
So he has to be...
So
Aaron Banks still plays, doesn't he? He plays for the Niners.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I knew Alec Pierre. I know he was in the AFC, but I just want to see how can he be lower than the age of 23? So he's shorter than 6'3", lower than okay. So there is a yellow square on the receiver, and it's lower than number 14.
Who was your first guess?
Alec Pierre.
Alec Pierre. So it's not Alec Pierre.
So the age is 22.
He is 22.
So this player is 22 years old. He's shorter
Okay.
than 6'3". His has a higher number than, as you know, he has a lower number than 14.
Okay.
So,
Lower number than 14.
yep. And
Not a corner.
it looks like he is in the NFC. So we got to
the
think of something
NFC.
that's in the NFC.
I'm looking. Christian Watson. Hold on. He's young. How old is he? Oh, he's 24. Never mind. I knew he was a second-year receiver. I couldn't remember how old he was exactly. So it's not Christian Watson. There's... Damn. I don't want to waste any more guesses. We have 8 left. Because Watson is a lower than 14. He's number 9.
I mean, we could try to go Watson and see where the number's at.
Well, it says shorter than 6'3". It says here he's 6'2". No, 6'3". I don't like that. Yeah, it says he's shorter than 6'3". It says he's 6'3" here. So the Packers have him listed as 6'4", actually. So NFC, and it said it had a highlighted of a
Wide receiver.
receiver.
Yep. And it has to be 22.
He's 22. Romeo Dobbs is 23, so it's not him. Okay. I'm thinking. I'm not going with Romeo Dobbs though. I'm thinking out loud. Thinking that same division. It's not DJ Moore. He's 20. He's in his high 20s.
You know what? I want to see.
Uh.
I'm thinking about Bijan Robinson. You want to go with that?
Bijan Robinson was a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 22 years old or under 22?
Exactly 22.
Bijan Robinson is 21. Yeah, it's only 21. Rookie for the Falcons. Speaking of the Falcons, Drake London.
Ooh.
Let's look into him. Hold on.
All right.
Pull him up.
All right.
I'm going Drake London.
Okay. So it's in the NFC South.
Because he's number 5. That's lower than number 14. He is 22 years old. He's not a corner. He is a wide receiver. And he is...
The wide receiver is yellow, though. It's not green.
Yes.
So...
Right.
So I'm pretty sure it's on the offensive side, but it's not a receiver. So shorter than 6'4".
Okay.
The age is right. Higher than 5. So it is in the NFC South.
How many more guesses we got?
7.
7 more. Okay.
Got 7 more.
So we have equally squandered one guess each, and then shared a squandering. I can't believe it's not Drake London. Higher than 5, NFC South, offensive side of the ball. Okay. I'm gonna think in the world of running back. Let me think off the top of my head. I'm not Googling until I think of a player. NFC South, NFC South, NFC South, NFC South, NFC South. Higher than 5. Miles Sanders is older than 22, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dang it. Who else you got? The Saints? Alvin Kamara is older than that. Alvin Kamara is older than that. Have they drafted anybody? The Buccaneers. Who's the Buccaneers running back? Rashad White is one of them, isn't it?
Yes, I do believe so.
He's exactly 22, so that couldn't be Tucker for the Buccaneers. Lonnie Brown. Hey, Buccaneers, I don't think. It's not receiver?
It's on the offense. It's on offense.
It is on offense, though. And then what's the number higher than again?
Higher than 5. Shorter than 6'4". I want to go Baker Mayfield.
Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, we can go Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, tight end, Falcons. He's 22. He's second year tight end, excuse me. His number's higher than 5.
But he is 6'6". Shorter than 6'6". Like I said, still in the AFC South. He's an offensive player. The age is right. Higher than 8. So I'm going to go with my gut. I just want to see if the number is matched up. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield.
He's number 8 now, 6 now.
Is he? I thought he was a higher number.
Yeah, he's not. He's way older than 22. Also,
I don't know. I want to see if it's a quarterback we're going to be here or.
it ain't Kyle Trask. He's an older second-year player. I'm starting to stump. I'm thinking hard. Okay. So it's an offensive player
Ooh, excuse me.
in the NFC South. And it's what number? Higher than?
Higher than 8.
How more guesses we got after Mayfield?
Oh, I haven't picked Mayfield yet. We got 6 more.
Age 22. He sees. What's his height now? It's changed.
Shorter than 6'6".
All right, I'm gonna cheat. I'm cheating now. I'm pulling up players on NFL.com. Offensive side of the ball.
Because I know it's not a receiver. Because we got through that.
Right. Shorter than 6'6". Could it be an offensive lineman?
It can.
Is that possible?
It can, but it has to be a higher or lower number than 14, higher than 8, and shorter than 6'3". So I'm pretty sure it is not a lineman.
Chris Olave. How old is he? Let's see.
Ooh, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Hold on here. It's Bryce Young. Dude, Bryce Young.
Yes, it is. We got it. Let's go.
Oh, it took us that long to get the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yep.
However, how many tries did we have remaining?
5.
5. So we have officially gotten 2 out of the 3 and won the game.
Yep.
Oh. Whew, okay. We did it. That was fun. I liked that.
It was fun.
We're
Something different.
It is. To let the audience know, we're trying to incorporate different ideas, different games people are doing. Just, I don't know, kind of stuff to make us stand out in our opinion.
Yep.
I know our opinions stand out a lot of times. We have some hard takes. It may not be what you want to hear, but you need to hear it. So, that was fun. And we successfully did it. And we didn't walk out looking like idiots.
Nope. Even though it probably will happen. But
yes.
I know it is going to happen.
We did it. No practice. No warm-up. On the fly.
Nothing.
So with that being said, that's all we have for today's unbiased hard take. I just can't believe it took us that long to get the number 1 overall pick.
Me too.
JB, anything you want to add?
Nope, nothing that I can think of other than just follow us on Facebook. We got that tip of the day, which Chandler has been doing really hard on.
Sports fact of the day, yes.
Sports fact of the day. Just go and follow our Facebook. We're trying to, get out there more.
Yes.
Comment on our video, see how we're doing, or talk to us, interact with us, comment, like this video, and subscribe. Like I said on the last video, it is free. We love free things, and if you have a YouTube account, just hit subscribe. I mean, it really does not hurt you, and it doesn't hurt us. So, I mean, it will hurt us because we don't have that many subscribers. Anyways, so hit the subscribe button. It is free. That's all you got. That's all you need to know. It is free. It helps us out. It will help you out. I probably should have said that first. Like I said, I woke up like an hour ago, so bear with me here. But do that.
Working on the night shift, baby. Please don't copyright us. Who sings that song?
I don't even know.
Credit to you. With that being said, I agree with JB. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. If you wrote that song, I'm not a country music fan. Do not sue me. I say that a lot. With that being said, guys, we have a lot of likes on Facebook, over 50 followers on Facebook. If you're seeing from the Facebook side, give our YouTube channel some love. It's where it all starts. It's where all our content goes. Again, hit that bell. Like JB said, hit that sports fact of the day. Next time we talk football, there should be games we talk about. We'll be talking about week 1 games next week, making predictions, all that stuff. So finally, we're hitting that time of the year.
Yes, we are.
Time of the year.
Week 1's just under our noses.
Yes, it is. It's coming. So next time you see us, there will be games we talked about. And until next time.
See ya.
Go Pat, go.
Go Steelers.